Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Video in the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode of the Houston Texans 10-year rebuild. We are here in Season 2, Episode 2, and in the last episode, we made some magic happen. CJ Stroud looks to be the future of the franchise, which is good because he's our only option at quarterback right now. So we've got to ride with him. We drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. in the draft to bring us that connection, that Ohio State connection that we love so much, the CJ Stroud, Marvin Harrison connection. So hopefully in Harrison's rookie season, he can really dominate and show out. I'm thinking this team is going to be pretty good this year, but I have no idea how the simulation is going to go. Let's find out. Let's get Season 2 underway. Hit that like button if you're going to enjoy. Subscribe to the channel. Join the Juice Club. And let's get started. So as we do with every single season, we start with our season goals. Now, I said that I'm a little high on this team in the intro. I think we could be good, but I am going to still commit to around the 4-win mark just to kind of play it on the safe side of things in case we have a bad season. You never know. So I don't want to get ahead of myself and give us like 7 wins or make the playoffs and we end up being kind of bad. We were a little underrated last season, and we move into the year with some new talent on the offensive line. Marvin Harrison and Jordan Addison, new additions there. I love that. We got Jordan Addison in a nice little cheeky trade. We signed Kamara in the offseason to go alongside Dameon Pierce. CJ Stroud's got a lot of weapons in front of him to work with. We decided to keep Laramie Tunsil and Shaq Mason for at least this season. Maybe we move on from them after this season, depending on if they start to regress and we don't like what their contracts are looking like. But now we've got 3 young players, Kenyon Green, O'Sullivan, and Devine, as young pieces to build around this offensive line. Obviously, we have Marvin Harrison on the right side with John Mechie and Nico Collins as well. So the receiving core is looking pretty good. The defense is another story. Our corners I do like a lot. Derek Stingley and Devin Witherspoon are the 1 and 2, with Desmond King, who we brought back on a little bit of a cheaper contract. Jalen Petrie and Jaquan Brisker are the safety core for the next decade, I'm hoping. We've got Quincy Williams, who we brought in the offseason. Perryman and Harris, I hope, can develop. We'll see how it goes. We could be a sneaky good team, but that's, now you see, because the defense, now you see why I kind of committed to the lower end of the spectrum with like 4 wins and stuff. But we are going to simulate, I forget, did I change playbooks, or are we still rocking with like the original stuff that we had from Season 1? We are still rocking with all that stuff. Okay, I wasn't sure if I changed or not. Is there a better scheme that we can fit, or is Tampa the best one? Or not Tampa, West Coast. I think West Coast is the best thing. Tampa 2, we might be able to switch out of Tampa 2. Oh yes, we're gonna go to a base 4-3. That's a 93 scheme fit. That fits us much better than what Tampa 2 was fitting us. So we are gonna sit at that. And then I just want to quickly check and make sure that nothing got changed too significantly when we changed our scheme, or a defensive look. Nothing hopefully got changed. Yeah, everybody seems to be rocking the same stuff that they were. The defensive line needs a little bit of work, but with Will Anderson Jr. there, we should be able to get some nice pressure on quarterbacks, I'm hoping. But we'll find out. We are going to simulate to the midseason mark, see where this team is, and we'll go from there. We've made it to the midseason mark, and we've actually won 3 games already this season. We are 3-4, and we're in contention for a wild card spot. I mean, the Titans are kind of taking over the division at 6-1. We'll see if they can keep that up or not. But it's us and the Colts at 3, and the Colts are 3-3. We're 3-4. We'll see if we can kind of sneak above them and maybe steal a wild card spot in our second season. That'd be amazing. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Probably not, I would guess. But as we take a look at the team halfway through the season, we're looking pretty good. Marvin Harrison has superstar development. That is unreal. I love that so much. So we have 3 superstar development players on the offense with Addison and Alvin Kamara. CJ Stroud still a 79 overall. The defense is looking good. Will Anderson Jr. is playing up with some good morale. but we are 3-4. So, I mean, we're looking promising. We're 1 win away from completing our goal. We'll see how we go to the next half of the season. There are some contracts that we could start signing now. I don't even know who's up for a new contract. We have a lot of cap space. Laramie Tunsil. See, this is where we probably move on from him because he's asking for a total contract of around $91 million for a guy who's going to be in his 30s. Will Anderson Jr. we're going to have to re-sign only because he's a created player with the roster, so the contracts get glitched up. But that's good because we can lock him up for hopefully the entirety of the rebuild. And he kind of wants to be here too. Jordan Addison doesn't want to be here. CJ, we're going to have to re-sign, and CJ's going to want a ton of money. Okay, but that's good. We can get these guys locked up for a while, and then we can figure out what to do with them later. But I do want to get Will Anderson Jr.'s contract out of the way, so I am going to just offer like a 6-year contract because I want him here for a while, and that would take up almost all of the rest of the series. We'd have to probably give him, he's going to be coming back. That's good. So he's going to be here for 6 more seasons. So towards the very end of the series, we're probably going to have to offer him at least 1 more contract. Or, yes, 1 more contract. And we'll figure out what to go from there. Jordan Addison and CJ Stroud don't want to be here. What's CJ's things? He wants to be close to home, which is California. We can't fix that. But we don't have a mentor at the position. I could sign a backup quarterback that is a mentor, that has the mentor tag, and then that might help us out. And the team doesn't have a franchise quarterback, but because CJ doesn't have the franchise quarterback tag just yet. So that's what Jordan Addison doesn't like. But we probably will have to overpay for Jordan Addison because I certainly want to keep him around. But I might be able to give CJ a backup quarterback that he wants. Let me just go to the roster and release one of our quarterbacks. I know we have Davis Mills, but he's not technically a mentor. So let's go. Oh, I can't. I thought I had a 3rd-string quarterback I could just release. Well, let me just go and release Nick Dalton from Florida. Where's he at? From Missouri, the fullback. All right, bye-bye. Thank you for your services, but we don't need 2 fullbacks, that's for sure. And then I'll go into free agency, sign a 3rd quarterback that has a mentor tag, hopefully. Hopefully there's one there. I don't know. And then maybe that'll bump up CJ's interest in us just a little bit, enough to where he'd be willing to sign. Okay, so Matt Ryan has the mentor tag. Cam Newton does. Nick Foles does. Okay, is there anybody? Okay, let's bring in Cam as a mentor player for CJ Stroud. He has the mentor tag on him. Beautiful. So we'll go back out, and I don't know if that's going to adjust until we simulate a week or if it'll adjust right now. Let's go back to players that are ready to negotiate. Is CJ more interested in us? He is. Oh, wait, no, that's Cam. I saw the green interest part. I was like, oh, CJ's more interested, but that's Cam. So CJ's not interested now, but I'm going to simulate a week and see if that... Oh, no, it did update. It just didn't help us very much. It didn't help our cause. Because Cam Newton, I guess, isn't a very good mentor at the position. That's okay. That's understandable. I'm going to give CJ a 7-year contract, $20 million base salary, $9 million bonus. That's a lot for a quarterback. You need to convince me this team is right for my future? What else do I have to give you? That's a huge contract I just gave you, and you rejected it. That's crazy. Maybe we can bring back Jordan Addison. I'll give him a 5-year deal, $7.5 million on the salary, $5 million bonus, and he's excited to come back. So we got Will Anderson Jr. and Jordan Addison. We have about $92 million to bring back the rest of the people. I'm going to bring back Cameron Johnston on a 7-year contract just so we don't have to worry about a punter anymore. So that's good. He's coming back, and it wasn't really that expensive anyway. Kaimi Fairbairn, we can probably find a kicker somewhere. Kickers aren't that important in simulation, so it's not that big a deal. We're going to have to figure out how to get CJ Stroud back in this team. We're going to have to severely overpay for CJ Stroud, which kind of scares me, but I will I'll see you guys at the offseason, or at the playoffs, I guess. Maybe we sneak in. I don't really see that happening, but who knows? Okay, we made it to the playoffs, and we finished 8-9, 3rd in the division. A much better season than I thought we were going to have. I thought we might slip up slip up and lose a few games that we probably shouldn't have, but we won around the games that I hoped we would win. So we went 8-9, didn't make the playoffs, but had a fairly good second season. This is right around the territory where we should be at this point in year 2. Because we've got good young stud Jordan Addison, good stud Alvin Kamara with stud Dameon Pierce, stud CJ Stroud, stud Marvin Harrison coming into his second season. It looks like we've got Scruggs and Howard, who we're going to move on from this offseason so that they don't start jumping over our young rookies that we want to have. So we're going to move those two guys. We have, on the defensive side of things, no development upgrades, but Stingley is dropped to that for some reason. I don't know why that happened. Brisker and Petrie are looking good. Harris hasn't really developed. That's just the thing with normal development in Madden. It's so hard to develop somebody in simulation, especially when they have normal development. So you're just gonna have to get guys that have star at the least to at least give them some sort of hope if they want to ever develop. And I know you can go in and purchase those upgrades in the staff tree that like boost your upgrade or your XP by like 20% or something, but still, even with that, it doesn't really help too much. It's just so difficult unless you're playing every single game and you're usering that player to make them get like inflated stats. It's super hard to just let them ride and with normal development and hope that they play well and hope that they upgrade. Sometimes it happens. It's not a complete never happens, but it is very rare that a player with normal development turns out to be a stud. The Super Bowl is the Cowboys and the Chargers. We will simulate past this and then we'll go to the stats and take a look at how the team played in this second season. Specifically how CJ Stroud played, because that's what I'm uber curious to see how he did. We've got $149 million in cap space, which we're going to need because I could not sign CJ Stroud. I tried a couple of times after I cut it from when I last talked to you at the midseason mark. I tried to sign him a couple more times after that. He just would not sign. I was giving him tons of money, but he just would not sign because that close to home tag is so far into the negative that it's going to be hard to sign him. I really think we got to get him. We're going to have to severely overpay him. But he was a very good player. He had 4,800 yards, 39 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. I'd like to see him cut down on those slightly, maybe down into the low double digits. Maybe like 11 or 12 would be more ideal. But that's still a very good season. Alvin Kamara had 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns, and Dameon Pierce still got involved, which is good because I didn't want him to just like completely get forgotten because we signed Alvin Kamara. So he at least got some touches, got some touchdowns as well. Didn't get the yards, but he did get the touchdowns, so that's good. He still got some overall boosts and still played very well. Jordan Addison, 1,300 yards and 14 touchdowns. I'm so happy that we traded for him because he looks like he's going to be a stud alongside Marvin Harrison, who had 943 yards and 6 touchdowns. Schultz had 927 and 6 touchdowns. And even Nico Collins had 900 yards. So that's very good. I like to see that a lot. Defensively, Quincy Williams in his first season here got 117 tackles with 2 for loss. Denzel Perryman had 114. Brisker had 87. Will Anderson Jr., 86 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, and 16 and a half sacks. That is why we are paying Will Anderson the amount of money that we're paying him, because he is severely the best player on the team by a big margin. Dylan Horton had 9 sacks. Sheldon Rankins 5. A few other guys had a couple. Interception leaders, Jaquan Brisker with 4. He just had a great season in general. Devin Witherspoon had 3. Stingley had 3. That's good to see the 1-2 punch right there, getting some interceptions, getting some turnovers. Okay, so we move into the offseason where we need to sign CJ Stroud. That is priority number 1. I don't care if it takes our entire $149 million budget that we have available in salary. We need to bring CJ Stroud back to this organization. So Dak Prescott and the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. He gets MVP of the Super Bowl. Josh Allen's MVP of the league. Zach Taylor, Coach of the Year. Cooper Kupp, Von Miller, Offense Defense Player of the Year. And then Quinn Ewers and JTT are your Offensive Defensive Rookies of the Year. Quinn Ewers for the Seahawks, and I didn't see where JTT went, but I don't care. He is a former Buckeye, but he's not on our team, so I don't care anymore. We move to the re-sign period. Priority numero uno, Get CJ Stroud on this team locked up for a long time. For his entire career, we need to lock him down. It's going to take a ton of money, but I think we can do it. Or we'll just franchise tag him. That is also a possibility. That is also a possibility. He wants $141 million, so that's gone up from what he was asking for during the season. And see, this is the last offer that I made him. $20 million salary and $11 million bonus, and he still said no to that. I can go even higher. If he doesn't accept this, then we'll just have to franchise tag him. But I will give him $23 million salary and like a 12.5 bonus. And if he doesn't accept this, then we're just going to have to tag him. He's coming back. Oh my God, thank you. We really overpaid for CJ Stroud, but we had to do it. We're going to trade Laramie Tunsil. We're going to trade Titus Howard. And I don't really want any of these guys back. I may want Andrew Beck to return just because he's a fullback, and I like fullbacks a little bit. So we'll see what he says to that. He would like to play for a new team. Screw you, Andrew Beck. I was just giving you a nice little contract. Giving you a job. And you said no to that, so forget about that. I'm not bringing you back then. Let's go trade Laramie Tunsil. And let's trade Titus Howard and the Scruggs guy, the center. If we trade those guys, then we will be good to go. So Laramie Tunsil, our best player right now. What's his value, first off? If we go to get offers. Tremaine Edmonds, a first-round pick and a second-round pick. Wow, okay. So Isaiah Pacheco, a first-rounder and a second-rounder from the Chiefs. Okay, Laramie Tunsil has some pull. Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, AJ Terrell, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Adoree Jackson. Garrett Wilson, who's a 97 overall. Mike Hall Jr. and J-Mo. And Jack Campbell. Wow. Okay. Cooper Kupp. I know Cooper Kupp's old at this point, but he did just win Offensive Player of the Year. DK Metcalf, Derrick Henry. Wow, Laramie Tunsil has some serious pull in this value. There's a lot of good options here. We can grab first-round picks, and we can grab Isaiah Pacheco, who we could then in turn flip for another player. Flip. Wow, this is kind of crazy. I didn't realize he had the kind of value that he's got. Oh, man, this is tricky. Do I try to build my own trade? I could try to build my own trade, or I could accept one of these ones. I really like this Lions deal. We get a D-tackle in Michael Hall Jr., which is a position that we need. We bring in J-Mo, who would severely improve this receiving core with Marvin Harrison and Jordan Addison and Nico Collins. And then we bring in a middle linebacker in Jack Campbell, who could develop. Or we just we swing for the fences, get Garrett Wilson. Oh, this is tricky. This is putting me in a bad... I guess we could get Cooper Kupp or DK Metcalf as well. This has put me in a weird spot because I have no idea where to go with this. What if I try to build my own trade? Let me talk to the Seahawks/49ers. Maybe I could grab Deebo and more. So maybe... What's Deebo's contract? He's got a big contract. He's only star development, though. I thought he'd be more than that. He's got 2 years on his deal. Okay, what about if we go down to the Seahawks? Tell me DK is a better development trait. Only star as well? Really? Star development for DK Metcalf? He's got 2 years left on his deal. What about if you give me DK Metcalf? They have the first pick in the draft this year. A pick next year, and a left tackle replacement in Charles Cross. How about that deal for Laramie Tunsil? That is declined. Okay. We can work with this. We can work with this. If you take a... Let's see. If you take a second rounder next year, how does that work? Is that you like that? They like it, but not a whole lot. Okay, maybe if their pick wasn't valued at the second overall pick, it'd probably be a little bit easier. And I don't really want to give up my own first rounder. I guess I could. No, I can't. None of these guys are gonna help them, or help the cause. They need a right guard. I have Shaq Mason, but I'm not really ready to move on from Shaq Mason. How about if we throw in Titus Howard? That does help. What about if I throw in the second round pick as well? I could give you the second round pick from next year. Titus Howard and Laramie Tunsil. What do they say to this? That didn't move up very much at all. I think that the first or the second pick in the draft next year, since it's projected to be that high, is going to be a little unfortunate. And it's probably hurting because we're trying to get Charles Cross too. Maybe if we let him go, we take away this, and maybe we throw in somebody else. Who else do they have that I would even want? Nobody on their offensive line. Abraham Lucas, Derek Inati. JTT's right there. Okay, that makes sense. Brooks, Nwosu. Oh, there's Tariq Woolen. How about this? Maybe Charles Cross is valued a little bit less than what Tariq Woolen is. I still think it's going to be that second pick in the draft. Why'd the Seahawks have to suck so much? Because Laramie Tunsil can give us a first-round pick. Laramie Tunsil can grab us a first-round pick. I might end up doing this one for the Bears, getting Tremaine Edmonds, who's a middle linebacker that we could use, grabbing a first-round pick next year from the Bears and a second-round pick this year. Let me do this trade. So that way, at least we get a first-round pick. That makes me happy. Okay, so we got an extra first-round pick next year. We have two second-round picks this year. Okay, so then we go to the right tackle spot, and we're going to trade Titus Howard. I don't know what his offers are going to be, but maybe they'll be kind of good. It doesn't look like they're that great. Romeo Dobbs. Jordan Fuller. We don't really need a safety, though. What about if I throw together Titus Howard and the center Scruggs? What about if I throw them both together? Okay, that bumps it up a little bit more. Now we're talking. It's still not anything fantastic. I saw Azeez Ojulari. That could be very useful for us. Will Disley, James Daniels, Ezra Cleveland, Teron Johnson. There's his brother, Aziz's brother, BJ Ojulari. But let's take Azeez. I'll trade both of them for Azeez Ojulari. That should help us out. We still have a ton of money. We need a left tackle now, that's for sure. Man, I really wish I could have made it work for DK. I didn't see a way that it was possible. So Tremaine Edmonds is going to need a contract next season. So is Azeez. But we can pay those guys. That's fine. Nobody else here needs to come back. So we can simulate to free agency where we have a ton of money to work with. And I'm hoping a good class. Really hoping a good class, especially a left tackle. I guess there is a couple left tackles in the draft that we might be able to grab. But I'd prefer to get a guy that's established. Let's see what free agency has to offer. So we go into free agency with Nick Bosa and Tristan Wirfs. Wow. Well, it looks like I know where I'm spending my money. I know where I'm spending my money. This is a huge free agency class. This is a huge one. This is perfect. This is the right class to have all the money that we have. So we're spending our money on Nick Bosa and on Tristan Wirfs. I don't care. I mean, having Nick Bosa come off the edge with Will Anderson Jr. is the ideal situation. It is the ideal grouping. So we'll offer him that money. Hopefully that is at the top of everybody's list. That's not even on the board. What are these teams offering him? That's crazy. We didn't even get on the board for that. Okay, I'll offer Tristan Wirfs because we certainly need to get Tristan Wirfs, and he's like the best offensive lineman in the league. We'll offer him $12 million there. We'll offer him $14 million here. Is that going to put us on the board, please, with Tristan? Oh, the Bills were lowballing him. The Bills were lowballing him. That's what you get, Buffalo. All right, we got to try to figure out a way to get on the board with Nick Bosa. What are we going to have to offer this man? I'll go crazy with it. I'll go like $15 million, and I'll go into like $13 million bonus. I'll get nuts with the contract offers. What does he say to that? Where's that put us on the list? Hey, we jumped into the list, but I don't think that's going to be enough to get him, so we're going to withdraw our offer again, and we're going to go back into it. Even if I give a very player-friendly contract, it's still going to be a crazy amount of money. We are offering Nick Bosa so much money that it's not even funny. Like, I'm going to pass out with the amount of money that I'm offering Nick Bosa right now. But just think of him and Will Anderson Jr. paired alongside each other. It's a match made in absolute heaven. Please, Nicholas Bosa, accept my offer. That puts us ahead. Oh, please, baby Jesus. Give me these two guys, because that would so help us. Okay, so we have 3 negotiations left to do in this first period. Let me go back to the lineup and kind of figure out our game plan. So if we go to our lineup, we don't need Justin Herbert because we have CJ Stroud. We locked him up for a huge contract. Kamara went down to star. I'm not having it. He will be up to superstar. He had a 1,000-yard season on the ground. I don't think he is going to go down by any means. So Alvin Kamara back up to superstar. All right. So let's talk shop. We've got, hopefully, Tristan Wirfs coming in to fill this spot. Shaq Mason's superstar, by the way, which is awesome. We've got Dameon Pearson, Alvin Kamara. The wide receivers are really just Marvin Harrison and Jordan Addison. We do have Nico Collins, but he's not really developing. And then on defense, Aziz, Tremaine Edmonds, and Quincy Williams. I like that. If we bring in Nick Bosa, that'd be awesome. So we just need a corner. Tolliver got star. That's awesome. We just need a D tackle, we just need a D tackle, especially if we get Nick Bosa. So a D tackle and maybe another wide receiver. A D tackle and another wide receiver with the remaining money that we have. So let's go to free agency and try to get a receiver and a D tackle who fit the scheme we're trying to work with here. If we go to D tackles, the best one available is Ed Oliver. Perfect. That is exactly what I want to see. I'll give Ed Oliver a nice contract. He wants to be here. And we'll offer him an $8 million bonus, and we'll say, yes, please. Sign on the dotted line. Oh, I don't know if he's going to sign with us. The Chiefs and the Falcons are both offering him good amounts of money. Let's go to wide receivers. Who's available? Mike Evans, Brandon Ayuk. If Mike Evans wasn't so old, I'd go in for him. Brandon Ayuk, I know we always get Brandon Ayuk, but I just love him so much. He's such a good player. I think this is like the 3rd straight series where I've gotten Brandon Ayuk, or at least offered him a contract. He's just such a good player, and rarely any teams ever go after him, so we'll offer him a contract. And now we have one more guy to offer. We could offer Mike Evans, I guess. We could offer Mike Evans. We're offering Tristan Wirfs. The fact that the Bucs didn't even offer him a contract is crazy. Center, no. Right tackle, no. Left end, we're offering Bosa. We're offering Ed Oliver. Derek Brown on the right end side. We could go for Derek Brown and make him a D tackle. That could be something. And then our D-tackle situation will be figured out. I like our corners. You know what? That sounds like a pretty good idea. As long as the price is right, if we go to oh, no, we can't. Okay. Oh, his contract would be a little bit too much for us, so that's okay. That's not a big deal. Tyree Wilson, we don't really need. I think the smartest option is to save the rest of our money because we're probably going to need it. But maybe I could snag Mike Evans if I drop his contract down a good amount to about $9 million because he wants to be here. I know he's got 2 teams offering him, but he wants to be here. So maybe if we can get him on like a friendly contract, a team-friendly contract. What did he say to that? We're in the contention with the Texans and with the Giants and Vikings. We'll see what happens. We'll go to our targeted. Come on, baby Jesus. Please let me sign these 2. This is the only people that I want. Everybody else is just icing on the cake. These are the 2 guys that I want so bad. I'm going to hit the evaluate offers. Please tell me they signed with us. Everybody's gone. All 5 guys have signed a contract. Did they sign with us? I'm going to move to my signings. Please. We got Nick Bosa and Tristan Wirfs. Thank you. We actually got 4 of the 5 guys. Mike Evans is the only guy that didn't sign with us, which I don't really care about. That wasn't a big deal. But we got Nick Bosa and Tristan Wirfs. So our left tackle situation gets upgraded, and we snagged a first-round pick out of it. And we got Nick Bosa. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This team just got so much better. This got so much better, so much quicker. Look at this now. We're an 88 offense, 86 defense, 86 overall team. Nick Bosa and Will Anderson Jr. coming off the edge together. Oh, baby. Oh, wow. Okay, so Ayuk, Addison, and Harrison. Pearson, Kamara. The offensive line just needs a little bit more development time because they're young. But now we got Tristan Wirfs and Shaq Mason at superstar development. And then on the defense, don't even get me started, baby. Oh my God, I love this team. I love it. We've got Anderson Jr. and Bosa coming off of the edge. Are you kidding me? And then Ed Oliver in the middle? You got to be joking. You've just got to be joking. This is not real life. This is a fantasy. I cannot believe what I just pulled off there. That is an insane free agent period. That might be my best free agent period I've ever pulled off in any one of these 10-year rebuilds. Oh my God, that's an insane amount of free agent talent that we just brought in. We got the literal 2 best players in free agency to come to Houston. And neither of them really even wanted to be there. I know we overpaid, and that might come back to bite us in the end. Maybe like year 8 or year 9 or something that might come back to bite us. But we still got $18 million in cap space. Even paying CJ Stroud and Bosa and Will Anderson Jr. and Ed Oliver and Brandon Ayuk and all those guys, Tristan Wirfs. Wow, what a crazy, crazy offseason. Now, like I said, in a couple episodes' time, we might not have the money in the cap space that we have right now because all those guys' contracts will get bigger and bigger. So in a couple seasons, couple episodes, we might not have $100 million in cap space. It's likely that we won't have that money. Okay, so we've got some decisions to make. I have a couple guys on my favorites board. This guy, on the other hand, who is this? Calvin Pryor. I put him on my favorites board just because he looked really good. Oh, he's generational. Oh my God, he's generational. How is this man? Oh, Calvin Pryor is my draft pick. He's got to be. I don't know what pick we have, but Calvin Pryor is my guy. Calvin Pryor will be my tight end. This guy, Michael Mason, on the other hand, he has true talent of top 5. That's pretty interesting. That is pretty darn interesting. But I'm taking Calvin Pryor. I don't care. I know Calvin Pryor is a former NFL safety, I think, or was he a corner? I think he was a safety. But I'm taking Calvin Pryor. I don't freaking care. He's generational. This guy, Eli Meander, doesn't really even matter that much anymore. We don't really need him. I will use one of my things on you, one of my things on you, and one of my things on probably one of my other favorites that I have. How about... who should we use it on? I don't really know. I don't really know. Let's use it on... not Bob Ingram. I scouted him a little bit because they said that he could be good, but he's not that good. So let's go to like offensive linemen. Although offensive linemen you don't usually scout that heavily because they're probably pretty good. But let's use it on Marco Gonzalez. So we're going to use it on all three offensive linemen actually. Okay, I'm hyped. I am hyped for this. I need to check the mock draft real quickly because I don't know where any of those guys are going to go. Where's Calvin Pryor going to go? I have no idea. I have no idea where he's going to go, where he's projected. He's projected to be the #1 overall pick. Oh, he's generational. What's our pick at? It's 14. How do I get up to #1? I have to get that tight end. Calvin Pryor is... he's the guy. CJ Stroud needs to have him as a weapon. And now we come back to the Seahawks. We talked to them earlier in the episode because they took Laramie Tunsil from us. That's the Chicago Bears. That's right. We did talk to the Bears, or talk to the Seahawks for Laramie Tunsil, but we couldn't make a deal. What do you want? They want both of my first round picks, one from this year, one from next year. It's a good thing we got the second first round pick. I don't necessarily want to give that up though. I'll give up my pick this year. Obviously. That puts us in a good spot. I will give up... I can't... do I give up 2 first-round picks? I don't know if I can. They need a D tackle and a right guard. We have Shaq Mason, but we don't have a backup for Shaq. They need a D tackle. I have Sheldon Rankins. Do you want Sheldon? They kind of want Sheldon. Ooh, that bumps it up a little bit. That might make it so I don't have to give up another first-round pick. Very interesting. They also need a corner. I could give them... I don't really have a lot of corner depth is the problem. I would kind of be willing to give them Desmond King. But the only problem is I don't really have the depth there at corner. What about if I give them a second-round pick next year? Trade offer accepted. We were able to survive with not giving up either of our first-round picks next year. That huge Sheldon Rankins, putting him in the trade was big. Okay, so we were able to keep both of our first-round picks, and now we have the first overall pick to draft the tight end. I mean, it's crazy taking a tight end #1 overall, but he's so good. Did you see all the A's that he had? He's generational. He's absolutely generational. And he's going to be the new target along with Brandon Ayuk, Jordan Addison, Marvin Harrison, Alvin Kamara. Calvin Pryor is the new target for CJ Stroud. So there's no more mistaking who... if CJ Stroud's the guy or not, because he's got all the help he needs. Absolutely hidden development. 88 speed for a tight end is insane. 91 acceleration, 85 agility. He's not the actually, he's a pretty decent blocker. He's unbelievable. He's got to be an 82, 83 overall player. It's got to be. It's got to be an 82 overall player. I guess we'll find out. But that's who we take with the first overall pick. We have pick 14 and 12 in the second round. So this is where I'm going to draft maybe that center if he's available. All of my favorites are off the board. That's crazy. Let me go to the center. Is that guy still there? Marco Gonzalez is here. He looks pretty good. We have him 90% scouted. He looks pretty good. He might be better than O'Sullivan. I'm going to take him with this one. He's only got normal, though. Well, we'll see what his overall is. Maybe he ends up being better than O'Sullivan. I don't know, but he does look pretty good, so I'm happy with that pick. Skip this one, and you know what? I might trade this pick back to get another second-round pick for next year, so that we have 2 first-round picks and we get another second-round pick. That could be something that we do. Although we could get another first-round pick. I can't pass up a first-round pick. Are you kidding me? It's a first-round pick. I don't care if it's pick 32. It's still a first-round pick. We have 3 first-round picks next year, and we can trade one of those for a second-round pick in the draft if we need to. Or we can trade a player for a second-round pick. We can get second-round pick if we need to. Those aren't hard to get. But getting 3 first-round picks is massive. The Eagles are going to be good, obviously. Who knows what the Bears are going to be because we have their pick. And then, obviously, us is a matter of are we going to be good or not. I mean, we were 8-9 this year, and we just got better in the offseason, so I'm expecting playoffs. I'm expecting freaking playoffs. Is that going to happen? I have no idea. I'm very curious to see what this tight end, how good he is. What's his overall? Please be plus 80. It's got to be like 81, 82. He's got to be. He's generational. There's no doubt about it. $7 million in cap space after paying all of our rookies. He's got to be. He's got to be in that range. It has to happen. Show me the money. Show me the money. He's an 80. Okay, so he's not as high as I thought he was going to be. I was projecting like 82, 80 something. He's not as high as I wanted him to be, but he's still unbelievable. Marco Gonzalez is a 72, so he's right around the same overall as O'Sullivan is. They also drafted another tight end who's a 75. Does he have hidden development too? Ashton, what was his name? Ashton something? No, it's not, he's not hidden development, but that's okay. He's a 75. He's a pretty good player. They drafted 67, 63, 65, 63. Okay, so that's not a big deal. Was that the best player in the class? Calvin Pryor. Michael Mason was an 82 at quarterback. Okay, so he was the best best player available. With 95 speed, 95 excel, 90 agility. Oh my God, he's generational. Michael Mason's a generational quarterback. Wow. I think I had him scouted pretty good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Generational Michael Mason. Dolphins just got themselves a franchise quarterback. That's crazy. This was a good draft class. Look at the dip between the second quarterback taken and the first quarterback taken. 82 to 75. That's crazy. This is a pretty good quarterback class, but this guy by far is the best player in the class. Better than our tight end, even though it's varied because they're different positions. But that's a crazy offseason. Overall, not just our team. That's a crazy offseason in general. I'm happy with our offseason. We got significantly better, adding Nick Bosa, Tristan Wirfs, Tremaine Edmonds in the Laramie Tunsil trade. We added Ed Oliver. We got significantly better. On offense, we brought in Brandon Ayuk. We drafted the tight end. Oh yeah, this team's here. This team is here. We've got Brandon Ayuk, Marvin Harrison, Alvin Kamara, Dameon Pierce, Jordan Addison. We just need these 2 offensive linemen, O'Sullivan and Devine, to develop a little bit faster. Pryor and Dalton Schultz at tight end. And then don't even get me started on the defense, man. Linebackers are looking good. Defensive line looks good. We need another D tackle too if we're going to keep playing this kind of formation. Corners need a little bit more work, but I like where the corners are at. And we could use a little bit of depth at the free safety or at the safety spot in general. But other than that, man, this team is ready. We are in a much better spot than what we were with the Arizona Cardinals. In year 2, we were just stumbling around, not being able to do anything. But I like where we are right now with the Texans. We could make the playoffs in year 3, and we might even challenge for a Super Bowl depending on how good C.J. Stroud plays. Because I think the team around him are Super Bowl caliber. It's just all depending on how C.J. Stroud plays. And we can work with the playbook. We can figure all that kind of stuff out for C.J. Stroud. But that's going to be the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. What a crazy video it was, especially the offseason. Unbelievable, the amount of talent that we brought in and the amount of finessing that I was able to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.